I'm here with Pete James as we talk about how to engage youth in worship. Pete is a songwriter and a worship leader. You may have seen him recently as his song was used in the Thy Kingdom initiative. Also, Pete has led worship at many Christian festivals, including events for up to 1,000 young people. So the perfect person to ask about how can we engage youth in worship in our churches.
It's a good question. I think actually I would encourage churches to start earlier than that. So I would be encouraging churches to think about what happens with the youngest of the young. Even at 2 years old, children can learn songs, choruses, begin to form prayers. And I think if you put the seeds down at that age group, by the time they've gone through their childhood years into their teens, they're going to have a good grasp of worship. They're going to be wanting to participate. And so, yeah, I encourage people to start thinking earlier than that before you even hit the teen years.
So what kind of things could you do with the really young ones? Are you talking about starting them at kind of 7, 8 or younger than that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd go right back to the 2-year-olds and I'd be thinking, well, actually, could we use choruses from songs we sing on a Sunday morning? Are there prayers we could lead them in? Certainly using Bible stories. The capacity for a child to learn at that age is huge, and I think that stuff's really important from a young age. But I think it will give them a solid foundation that by the time they hit their teens, they're going to want to be involved in this stuff, right?
And so we start with them as young as possible, but right now we've got teenagers in our churches who haven't perhaps had that input from an early age. How can we take those teens today and engage them and draw them into worship?
That's good. Well, I think discipleship isn't just about spiritual formation. I think there's real life and practical stuff that is part of that discipleship process as well. And so I've been encouraging teenagers to see how church runs and how they can be involved. So it might be that you have sound engineers who can take someone under their wing and coach them in how to be involved in stage setups or running the sound. Same with the musicians and worship leaders. I sort of lead pretty much all the time with someone on my shoulder who's going to be, I'm raising up and encouraging. And so I would be thinking about where are those opportunities, how can we bring youth into those opportunities. It might be encouraging them in music lessons, vocal lessons. There might be stuff they have to do, their own homework, but there's certainly a lot I think they could glean from older people on the team.
Great. So modelling and discipleship and journeying with them.
Yeah.
What would we do though? Because I know I'm not particularly, in fact I know I'm not gifted in music or worship, but I'd love some of our teenagers to be involved. How? And we don't have other resources around, so what resources are available for people like me to encourage the teenagers to be involved?
Well, I think obviously there's a whole thing, music lessons they might want to pursue. There might be people on team that you could, run some coaching or tuition with. So there's that side of it. But in terms of other resources out there, I mean, there's so much. There's a wealth of stuff, isn't there? Hillsong, Young and Free, and Hillsong United are pouring out great stuff, great songs. Bethel are doing the same. Soul Survivor, and then there's the more kind of performance stuff out there. LZ7, Governor B. There's loads of bands and Christian artists who are going to serve as inspiration for young people coming through. And I think if they get hold of that stuff, it's only going to help them in their spiritual growth. Cross Rhythms as well, equally doing stuff now, vlogging, blogging, podcasts with youth. So I think if they can tap into some of that resource, it's going to bring music and creativity alive for them.
Great, there's a load of things that you mentioned there. So we'll put a link with this video, some of those places where the teens can go themselves to look at those blogs and blogs and just teach themselves as they do on YouTube videos and things. Pete also didn't mention that he writes songs that really engage the kids and teenagers, so check out Pete James Global as well. Pete, thank you very much for your insights. It's been great to chat with you.
Thanks so much.